guys. Let me know if you can hear me. I like the fact that I'm late to my own live, can I just say? Um, I've just clicked the button and there's loads of messages there saying hello. Nanny to the girls, hello. Diane, hello. Jane, Linda, Janice, Phil, Karen, Sarah, Kathy, New York Beauty. I love that. Hello, everyone. Let me move this so I don't accidentally knock it off. I have to put it far, far out of my reach so I don't knock anything. Hello, everyone. Oh my God, it's all right when I'm late to my own live, isn't it? Hello, Lynn, Colleen. Hello, Stephanie. Hi, Angela. Janice, so excited for the tutorial. I'm so glad that you're all excited. Angela, hi Michelle, Ben and everyone, hope you are feeling better. Excited for tonight as my box of goodies arrived today. I know I got lots of messages from Royal Mail today saying lots of your boxes had been delivered, so that's very exciting. Nana Kim, hello. Barbara, Gloria, Colleen, I hope you are feeling better watching you from Florida, and I can't wait to get my kits from you. Feeling a lot better. It's the dizziness and the sickness that I always get with everything. So if I get a headache, I get this dizziness and sickness. And it's the sickness, it sort of knocks you for six, doesn't it, more than anything else? I hate feeling sick and I hate being sick. I can cope with anything else, but the sickness is one thing that I really struggle with. So it's nice to see that lots of you are getting your parcels. I've changed my deliveries to America, so there are 6 to 8 day delivery now that I've sent all those with, so you should be getting them a lot quicker. Which is good, because having to wait that, I think it was like an 11 to a 13 day, which was ridiculous. So I've changed it to that shorter one. So you should be getting your boxes a lot quicker. Love the front page. Thank you very much. Diane, your goodies have arrived. Angela, yours did. That's great. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I've taken some painkillers. I've been resting. So I am feeling a lot better. I couldn't put it off any longer. I think I was more excited than you lot to get this done. So but mine has literally just arrived. Thank you for my giveaway from last time. Oh, yes, popped it in there for you. Carolyn, hello. Can't wait for mine. Sarah, it shouldn't be too long. Matthew, hi Michelle, glad you're feeling better. I am, thank you. Looking forward to receiving my order, Stephanie. Nanny to the girls. I'm not good at waiting. I know it's absolutely awful. I know exactly how you feel with regards to that. I'm the most impatient person ever. If I know that something's on his way, I stalk the postman. I'm like Mrs. Bucket or Mrs. Bouquet, constantly at the front blinds at the window, peering through them, see if every time there's a noise in the street. Cynthia, hi Michelle, glad you're feeling better. Can't wait for my order to arrive. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. It was because of the dizziness and the sickness. Every time I moved my head, I got sort of that swooshy dizziness, and I just knew that there's no way that I'd have been able to do this. So should we have a quick sneaky peek? So obviously you can see this is the front. If I lift it up, that's what it looks like from the top. You can see all my boxes, and then I've just decorated around the side. I've kept it nice and simple. I think with advent calendars, you can keep them nice and simple, purely because the excitement is what's in the box, isn't it, rather than what's on the front and everything like that. So just one of those lovely locks on the front, and I've just put some metal corners just on the front. You can obviously, go to town with these, all those little decorative embellishments and things. Do I have mine here? I do, I've got some of mine here. You can be popping on the front. Whoever it's for, you can pop their name on, anything like that. So let me stand it up to open it up, because if I don't, my boxes will all fly open. So it obviously opens out like that, lovely, beautiful gatefold. But if I lay that down, this is what it obviously looks like. Mix your numbers up if you want, keep them in order. I like to have mine in some sort of order. But these particular numbers, so they're just little wooden chippies, and I got them from Amazon, and they're just little bauble advent calendar numbers. So they're just wood or chipboard. I used a couple of my Tim Holtz ink pads, literally just inked it up. And then just around the edge, I've just got some gold, you can see, can't you? Some gold gilding wax, just to make it pop from the background paper. And I think you can see from the middle bit that I used a full sheet, well, not a full sheet, but I used a sheet of the paper, and I carried the pattern on. Now, it didn't go the whole way. So the pattern is, wait a minute, I count 2, 4, 6, 8. So the pattern piece of paper, the 12 by 12, goes from these boxes inwards, and then 2 strips down here I did with a different patterned paper. Just having a look at your messages. I don't want to miss anything. Glad you're feeling better. Migraines. Yes. Oh, I a couple of times a year I have a migraine that knocks me out for about 2 or 3 days. I used to suffer with them a lot when I was younger, but not so much anymore. But a couple of times I'll get a real good one. Hello, finally on my iPad. Oh, finally on my iPad was playing up. Oh, that's not good, Elizabeth. Making the other half watch as I'm watching you on the big TV. Thank you very much, Matthew. I like being on the big TV. Janice, that looks amazing. It's beautiful. The papers, look how warm. You imagine looking at this at Christmas, not when the weather's warm like it is today. Christmas time, it's cold. You open this up, you've got that really warm, inviting, cozy Christmas scene on all of these papers. So if I bring this one in, this is the one that I've used on the front. Is it? No, it's a different one I've used on that, but that's the one on the front. So you can see that I've used a couple of strips there as well. It's just beautiful. Again, Ben has taken my ideas, and by my ideas, me telling him what to do, and done such an amazing job for me. He really has. Oh, I love a good McCarthy box. This is a good box. It took it, it's one of those labour of loves, because you've got to do 24 little boxes, haven't you? The lids and the bases. But it's always, when you open it up and it looks like that, it's definitely worth it, isn't it? Hi, Michelle. You are my new addiction. I applaud you. Well, thank you very much. Does that say Clarice? I love that name. It does say Clarice, doesn't it? I'm always very careful because I pronounce a lot of things wrong, as you probably know. Tracy, hi Michelle, bit late, trouble with the laptop. Well, at least it's not me with the trouble with the laptop this time. So that's not too bad, is it? My gorgeous box arrived this afternoon. It is absolutely exquisite. I'm really glad that you like it, Elizabeth. I wish I was watching you on the big TV too. I froze and I'm back. So am I back? Am I back for good? Do I need to sing the song to you? I won't, I promise. But I've got a little bit of news. So, I am doing another live tomorrow, but that one's for Child Bella. That's with their Nutcracker collection. But I've been loud and clear, brilliant. I've been looking for a place to do in the area. So in Norfolk, I've been looking for a place to do workshops, and I found the most beautiful place. Norfolk Bound, I think it's called. If you look for their website, Norfolk Bound, it's going to be, well, fingers crossed. I'm going to see them next week, but I'm going to start, hopefully, running my own workshops. They have got 63 acres. It's absolutely exquisite from the pictures and everything that I've seen. So that would be nice. I think the room that they was telling me about fits 40 of us. So that's something exciting that I've possibly got in the works. And if that goes really well, and all of my crafty workshops do well. My next step is obviously to conquer the world and do a beautiful weekend retreat. So that would be something nice, because I would do sort of a weekend retreat. It would be me, whoever can, because obviously there's a hotel and they've got lovely, some of the most beautiful rooms there. You'd come down, you'd do some workshops with me. I'd get some of my people to come and run workshops, and I'd love to do like a proper full-on weekend, like CC used to do, or Hobby Maker have just done. They've just done. Have they just done it, or is it coming up? Theirs is in Redditch. It's like, again, a weekend retreat. There's workshops, and on these grounds they have spas and all sorts. So that's my 1 year goal. We're going to be starting with day workshops, and then by this time next year we're going to have expanded. So fingers crossed and touch wood. But I do have some more news, but I can't tell you that yet. That's a work in progress, that one. So we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up, which I can't tell you about yet, but all exciting and looking really, really good. Anna, hello. Thanks for reminding me this was on. Oh, did you forget? I did cancel it twice, didn't I? So I don't blame you. Good afternoon, Alicia. Handcrafted by Gaz. Oh, a New York beauty. You flatter me. Oh my God, Michelle, I wish I lived over there. Well, if maybe from next year I start doing weekend retreats, maybe you could come over, have a week's holiday, do the little weekend retreat with us, and then maybe travel round somewhere in the UK. You never know. Rhonda, hello. Clarice, hello. Colleen, I wished I lived over there to be able to attend. Maybe you can just come here to Florida. Business write-off and have a place to stay here and set up classes. Listen, you never know. It might be that successful that I get a chance to go over there and do weekend workshops. You never know. Something happened today that I actually thought to myself, oh my God, I never saw that happening. So you never know. Your excitement is infectious, can't we? I do get a little bit excited, don't I? Please don't forget to hit the like button. What Alicia said, definitely. I've literally just got back from my parents' house. The school holidays, yes, and being off work. It does discombobulate you, doesn't it? You need to get combobulated again. I love that. I can't wait to open my boxes. They are here, but I don't want to open them until I'm live. Oh, Gaz, so you're not going live well next week, though? Can you leave them sat on the side for about a week and not open them? That's a challenge for you, Gaz, definitely. You never know, Michelle. I was just in Ireland for 3 weeks for for your son's wedding. Oh, I bet that was lovely. I bet that was absolutely lovely. We would love it if you came to the US. I would love that. But you never say never, do you? Love the sound of that weekend. Oh my God. So the website is called Norfolk Bound, I'm pretty sure. So you should just go have a look at their rooms and their grounds. It is stunning. I have to leave them. Good luck, Gaz. Yeah, you finally caught alive. Yes. Well, welcome, sweet bee. It's lovely to have you here. Right. So, shall we get on with this? So, I'm going to stand this back up, and in fact, before I do, so each box I did was 2 inches wide by 3 inches deep, and what I did was a 1 inch deep lid, but my box is 1.5 inches deep. I'll give you the measurements as I'm going through it. There's obviously, many different ways to make your boxes, but I just thought I like a box where the lid isn't as deep as the base. I like to be able to see sort of that difference. And again, that's just another personal preference. You can sort of be creating your boxes however you want to be. So I've got all my papers there. Let's pop that to the side here. And I've got my mount board here. So what you're going to need is one piece. So this is for your back. It's 9 inches wide by 10 inches high. And again, if you want to make your boxes a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, then you can just adjust this accordingly. And then I've got my 2 side pieces because it's that lovely gatefold. And actually, let me grab my ruler. I made mine just a little bit smaller than the 4 inches. So, oh no, that's the front bit, isn't it? Bear with me. So these are the side pieces. So it's 3 3/4. And again, if I bring this in, it depends on how tight you want this to be. So each of my boxes is 1.5 inches. So that's your 3 inches. And then it depends what you are putting on the front of your boxes, because I've just got those little wooden bauble numbers. They're not too deep. They just add a little bit of depth. But if you want something on the front and it's got a lot of depth, then that's when you would alter that extra depth. But so for me, I've gone to the 3 3/4. It gives me enough room between them without them sort of squashing together. But again, just tweak that number if you want to a little bit. So these are again 10 inches by the 3 3/4. So that's my 2 sides. And then my front 2 pieces are 10 inches high by 4.5 inches wide. So it's exactly the same as, we will double check. I think I've picked up the wrong one, but that's all right. So 9 inches. I have picked up the wrong one. Let me grab another piece. Stay there, don't move. And I'll just recut one. There's so much stuff in this craft room today, I can barely find myself. So let me just grab this. And we'll cut another piece down. I'll sort of pop like that. And open this up. So I was saying 10 inches high, wasn't I? By 9 inches wide. So let's cut this to that 10. And then by the 9. Oh, that's bang on 9. That. Got that there. So 10 inches by 9 inches. My 2 sides are the smaller ones. That 3 3/4 by 10, and then the 2 front ones, which should fit perfectly on this one because it's that 9-inch cut in half. So they're both 4.5 inches wide. So we're going to attach them to each other like this. So again, it very much like if we're creating an album cover, we're going to create it, we're going to pop it together like that. So let me move those so I don't get them mixed up, and we'll put that there because we'll attach, we'll sort of glue these together first. So some plain card just under here. So I'm going to bring these in. If you don't have these tools, it really doesn't matter. It just helps you really just get them nice and straight, nice and even. So I'm just using some plain white paper because it's going to be covered up. Grab, just bring in this, grab this out. And that one. And so you know how I was saying I always use my tacky glue for this. I did a bit of an experiment and I tried my Kalal glue on this one, and it works brilliantly. As long as you give it enough time to go off before you try to do any of your folds, this worked absolutely beautifully. So I'm going to go with this one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this. If you don't have one of these, it really doesn't matter. It just really helps for you to get it nice and straight there. And let's open it up. The only thing I always do, no matter what glue I'm using, or if you're using red liner tape, is just make sure that you've smoothed it right to that edge, because that's the edge that you want to make sure is really nice and secure, because when you do fold these up, that's the bit that, if any bit is going to come away, because that's where you've got the movement. So giving it a nice good burnish. And then this one's going to go on here next. So I'll bring that over. And then again, so this is just a spacer to allow you to decide, or to allow you to make sure that that's nice and evenly spaced. Terry Anderson, hello. Angela, where is your mount board from? So this mount board actually is the mount board that I got from Crafter's Companion. I think it's a 10 by 8, so I think it's the ones that came with the jigsaws. Yeah, but that is where most of mine is from. And then I've got some really big sheets of grey board, and I think I just got them from Amazon. Amazon do so much. Grey board, mount board. So I've got this grey board as well. So these come in A3 sheets. So this is brilliant if you want to create some real big projects, which you know I like to do things big. So but this one's brilliant, because if you don't want to have your paper coming over the edges, you don't want it covered up, because it's white and it's quite nice. You can use it for lots of different things. But yeah, I think it was originally released with their jigsaw dies. So making sure that there's plenty all the way up to the edge, and then that nice and straight, and pop that there. And then you can just bring it down and push it in. Push that up a little bit. There we go. And then just move it out. And then I end up pressing it down, moving it a little bit anyway, and having to put it back into place. Turn that over. What I could do with, when I've turned it over, I bring in my burnishing tool and I make sure I give it a real good burnish all over, especially to those edges. You want them nice and stuck. But Hunky Dory have got quite a big one now, haven't they? I don't know if you've seen it. I really could do with getting myself one of them. It's just one of these, but it's a big one, so it covers obviously a lot more area than what this does. So I noticed that Anne-Marie's been using that for quite a while now. I keep thinking to myself, I have to get one of those. So let's pop that to the side, because then we're going to bring in these two pieces. And the paper that I'm using, it's a 200 GSM. So you can get away with a lot lower GSM. I've never wrapped my boxes with something less than about a 150. I'm not saying that you couldn't. I'm just saying that's the lowest that I've ever used. So again, just a rinse and repeat. We'll glue both of these down. And then making sure that glue's right to that edge. Turn that round that way and down. Just gives you the perfect board around for when we have to trim it up. Michelle, I can get lost in my craft room right now. Well, we've been packing boxes, so it's been like this production line. There's been the little organza bags, and then the flowers, and then the wooden bits, and it's been like this, and then all the papers. It's been this huge. I've loved it. I love seeing all that crafty product in my room. But yeah, it's been just, you haven't been able to move for stuff. And because I've been a little ill this past couple of days, I have sort of a side unit behind me, and that is where I just shove everything when I can't be bothered to put it away. So it's a little bit like a game of Jenga. Is it Jenga? It is, where you have to pull something out and make sure it doesn't drop. It's a little bit like that at the minute. I just keep piling stuff on top and just balancing it to make sure that it's all right. And I think I'll put it away in a minute. And in a minute never comes, does it? So again, turn this over, give it a good burnish. To be honest, I've seen lots of people use their brayer to do this. So if you've got a brayer, that would work just as well. So while that one dries, we'll bring this one in. And where's my craft mat? So I am going to bring in a smaller craft mat at the minute, purely because I don't want to cut on here. I don't have it on because the camera doesn't like the checks. So we'll just pop it on just while I'm doing this little bit of cutting. This is like my favourite tool in the whole world. So have I gone a little bit wonky? I have. I told you that I'd push it wonky, didn't I? Let's bring that out just a little, which is the good thing about that all-purpose. You wiggle that out of line. Let me just take this off. I don't know about you, but that doesn't look right to me. It looks a little bit short. Yeah, it's perfectly right, just a little wonky. Just glue this back down. There it is. I'm going to bring it back in, make sure I get it right. Oh, that's better. Right, so while that one dries, we'll bring this one back in. You can get mount board from the range too. Oh, I haven't been to the range for ages. I think I'm overdue a visit now. You've reminded me of that, Maggie. But yeah, there's loads on Amazon. There's loads on eBay. I think nearly everywhere sort of sells mount board. So let's bring this one in first, pop it along there, and just trim that same sort of border. And then, so it's very much making the outside of an album. Sort of exactly all of those same steps. Right. So this just pops over the corners, and we're going to cut that corner away. And just tighten that up. It's gone really loose. There we go. And then just with any ruler, I'm just using this, we're going to cut that little corner away. Bring that there. And then you can see it's cut that corner away. Let me bring it so you can see. We've got that little nook in there. And what that does is when we fold everything over now, it folds so perfectly neat. Which is exactly what we want. We don't want bulky corners. There we go. So it's started to rain now. And I've said before, I sit right next to the window. And it's gone ever so muggy. Is that a word that You guys in America know it's gone yucky and sticky, for want of a better word. Right, so what are we doing? So all of these corners, exactly the same as I always do. I'm going to fold them over, top and bottom, and then the sides. Entirely up to you which order you do them in. But let's get all that folded. Now, so that's my smaller bit, isn't it? So this is going to fit onto here. And what we're going to do it this particular way. So that is going to glue over there, and then it's going to be attached. I am going to cover this piece up with white paper. It seems sort of counterproductive, but when you look at the top of my album, if the side and the front, so it's going to be side and front, has got this lovely paper over it, and then the back hasn't, it's going to look odd. It's going to look like you forgot to do the back. So we will cover that piece up first. So I'm just going to, let's glue just that top and bottom down so I don't forget which bits do and don't need doing. So we're going to glue these three, and I'm going to leave that one for now. So when I get to this bit and I start gluing it because I'm talking, someone shout, Michelle, don't glue that bit. Just read a couple of comments because I hate missing anything. Stephanie, you will watch as long as you can. We're headed to see a friend. Well, that's all right. I'll allow that. I will allow it. Yes, we say muggy. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's so muggy. It's gone awful. It really has. I got my mount board from Amazon. Yeah. The good thing is on Amazon, if you go, you can get white, black, and sort of that grey board that I was showing you that I've got as well. So if you've got a project and you're using darker colours, they do a black mount board as well. Good evening. Oh, Gaz. I did miss something. See? Oh, my neighbour just brought round a parcel, and I think it is from Michelle. Caroline, how exciting. Right, so let's get on with this. So I'm going to do what I always do. You make sure that you've got glue right up to the edge of the mount board, and then bring it up. And then let's fold that over. And give it a good burnish. So I think really the only difference between using this and the tacky glue is this just takes a little longer to fully grab. But that's sort of a blessing and a curse, because like you saw that I put my mount board on wrong. And even after all that time, I managed to pull it off and straighten it up. If I'd have used my tacky glue, I'd have never been able to do that. But then the only other thing is you're just holding it for a little bit longer than you would if you was using the tacky glue. So it's sort of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, as my mum used to say. So you can see it's just taking that little bit longer. But we all know that once this is grabbed, you've not got chance in hell of getting it off. So remembering which is the side, which is that one, and let's glue this. Bring it over and give it a good burnish. I think the benefit as well of covering everything in just a plain paper rather than using your pattern paper to cover it all, it means you can get away with using less patterned paper, which is always a bonus, isn't it? There we go. So remembering not to close that, put that to the side, and then bring this one in. I'm going to have it the way round that it would fold that way, so it stays clear in my head. We know it doesn't take much to confuse me. Right, so again, let's trim that extra bit away. And then across the bottom as well. What? All right. My messenger just come in. I've missed the message. What width is the gap between the mount bar? So if I bring this in for you, this one gives you two options. There's a 2mm and a 1.5. And I always tend to use the 1.5, which is roughly 1/4 of an inch. So, but yeah, it depends. I think it depends again just on what you are doing with it. If you're just creating a normal folding album, you can get away with this being narrower. But because mine is so big and there's going to be lots of weight on there, I've done that a little bit bigger. So the 1.5 or the 1/4 of an inch, because I want it to fold. So you've got the back and I want it to fold up the sides and I want it to fold over. If I allow it a little bit wider, then it's going to sit nice and secure. So what I mean is you can see that I've got lovely, nice rectangles. They're folded beautifully. If you don't have as much space here, then this isn't going to sit as nice and neat as I want it to with so much going on, if that makes sense. So again, I think it depends, but roughly I tend to be about that 1/4 of an inch or the 1.5. 1.5 mils, yeah. So if I explained that well, let me know. And if not, if you're thinking I've not got a clue what you were saying, then let me know and I'll go over it again. Right, so corners. So just getting rid of those. And this last one. There we go. So this is the side that I don't want to fold in, isn't it? So let's just furnish all the other three sides. So I don't forget. But then I still need to, don't forget, don't get carried away with your burnishing and then forget those little corners, because taking these corners out versus leaving them in makes such a difference. I mean, I always left them in before, so I would always, we would be folding that over and then we'd have to tuck this down and bring this over. But because we've cut that corner away, when I bring this one up, I don't need to tuck this down to bring it over. It makes it so much easier and it makes it so much more seamless, less bulky than if you did it the other way. I think my husband wants to come and say hello. He's coming, he's looking for something. One of these days, he will come and say hello, I promise you. There we go. So, all four corners. So we're just gluing those three for now. The tools are called, did someone ask? I do apologise. So it's a book binding ruler kit. I got mine from Craftalia, I think is how you pronounce it. Again, I know Helen Griffin, she does her own. I think you can get them all over really, but I got mine from Craftalia and I love them. They come in a pink as well. And I know the colour's really not important, but I love a good pink. And I love this. Is it a turquoisey colour, like a sea green? Thing is, if we're going to be using these tools all the time, we want them to look lovely, don't we? So just making sure that that's nice burnished. Glue right up to the edge, and then bring it over. I found them now on Amazon and put them in my cart. Need to order some too. They make it so much easier when you make as many albums and boxes and things like that. Having these kind of tools really do help. So small, so this side, isn't it? Again, just bring it over, and then just using that to give it a good burnish. They did. They came with the loveliest little. Mine came with the loveliest little pencil case. I keep looking up, catching half of a message or a comment. Oh, it's 29. Hello. Well, I've got a couple of sneaky peeks for later as well of one of my upcoming collections. I don't know what reminded me of that, but it just came into my head. So I thought I need to tell you before I forget. What measurement is the L-shaped piece? This one. So the depth of it is 3/4 of an inch. And then this has got 20 centimetres on it. It is unfortunately on in centimetres. I don't use it for the centimetres. I literally just use it to go round. But the actual depth of this is 3/4 of an inch. And then from there to there, we are 2 3/4. 20 inches, it's 20 centimetres, 8 inches, isn't it? I don't know why I measured that. So we've got my two side pieces, and then I'm just going to quickly wrap this one. And I only need to wrap it from top to bottom. No, I don't. I'm going to wrap it all the way because this is going to go on the inside and it's going to fold up that way. If I'd thought ahead of time, I would have sort of already wrapped this one up, but well, at least this way you get to see everything from start to finish, don't you? What I'll do is we'll glue this piece down, and then I'll give you a little sneaky peek of one of my upcoming collections while it's drying, and then it gives us something to do, doesn't it? So make sure that that's all the way to the edge. And then I'll put it on there. So let me bring this in quickly. There you go. So where am I sneaky peek? So you know, I always said that one of my upcoming or my next upcoming collection is the circus. It's very steampunky. It's very a little bit alternative, as most of my things have seemed to be. Mine is filled with all sorts. Your little pencil case, I'm hoping that you mean. And you just ordered from Amazon and got the wood ornaments. Perfect. Should I give you a sneaky peek now, or should I make you wait till the end? Is that mean just making you wait till the end? So just while that's drying, my next collection that's coming out is a circus one. So it's very much steampunky and a little bit alternative. And did someone shout now at me? Caroline, now. So a little bit different, but again, I don't want to be bringing the same as everyone else out or the same as someone else, because that's the whole point, isn't it? We all do something a little bit different. So I've got a green and gold collection, and then we've got the red and gold collection. So one of the pieces, it's not quite finished yet, it needs a little bit of tweaking. But one of the pieces from the green one, it looks like that. So really bold, those greens, you've got those golds. There's lots of circus tents and steampunky cars and those hot air balloons and things like that. So that's the green one, green and gold. And then this is the red and gold one. So you've got some music on it. Again, it needs some little tweaks and stuff. That's Ben's job, not mine. But look how bold the colours are. Someone say, take my money, girl. I love it. So again, you've got the 12 by 12s, you've got the 6 by 6s. I am hoping by now that you're realising that 12 by 12s are wonderful to use for your bigger projects, as well as your smaller ones. They're going to work beautifully, again, put up into sections, because if I bring them back in, I'll bring them both back in. This particular one, you're going to be a bit more careful about where you cut it. So you definitely could still get away with cutting it down into sections, wrapping it round an album, using it as a scrapbooking page. But the greens and the golds, just look. But you've got lots of other scenes as well. This is just a sneaky peek. Again, with the circus. And they're going to be brilliant for anyone, because it's not, I don't think it's gender specific. It's not for the men or the women or whoever or whatever person in your life likes something. My daughter hates pinks and girly stuff. She's very much a little rock god, and she loves this collection. But then my son, Oliver, who very much loves pinks and hats and fluffy, cute things, also loves this collection. He thinks it's gorgeous. So I think there's something in there definitely for everyone. Just. Oh, there we go. So I'm very excited to bring you that, because I've been having a play with some rice papers as well. I'll kind of show you this before we carry on. So I've got some rice paper here that the husband's been printing out, and this is a sneaky peek of one of my autumn collections we've got coming up. Let me see if I can find the correct one. So I've got ink all over it, so you'll have to excuse my ink splodges. But this is my rice paper. So, I mean, it's going to come on the paper pads as well. But you can see that's one of my autumnals. So we're going to have rice papers available soon as well, which is exciting. And again, there'll be tutorials coming up with your rice papers, because I know a lot of people are like, I'm not really sure, but I love a rice paper. At its most basic, glue it onto a piece of card, cut it up if you want to, don't cut it up if you don't want to. And you've got a beautiful textured front to your card. So if I brought this in and I just glued it on here, because you're going to use your decoupage glue. If you haven't got a decoupage, so it is, where's mine? I don't know where mine is, or I'd show you. Just some Mod Podge. If you don't have any Mod Podge or anything like that, what you're going to do is you're just going to take some of this, some tacky glue, you're going to water it down a little bit, and that's what you're going to use to glue this onto your piece of card. Let it dry, and then what you've got is a really lovely textured, tactile front or topper to your card. So what are we doing? I have never used rice paper before. Is it easy to work with? Yes, it is so easy to work with, because what you get, you've got this beautiful sheet of rice paper. It's textured, and it's got, do I have I do. So this is my rice. And let me show you it plain. So can you see it plain before it's been inked up? You've got all those fibres running through it. And it's like a natural pulp that is used. So it means you can do so much more with it. So what you can do is what I've just said, just pop it on there, but you can tear it. So you can tear And can you see how you get that lovely feathered edge when you tear? Can you see that? You can, can't you? So you can just tear sections of it away. And then when you sort of glue it onto whatever, you can glue it onto anything and everything, to be honest. You've got sort of those feathered edges. It's really delicate and beautiful. You can transfer it onto your pottery, onto your wooden items. If you've got a jewellery box that you want to paint and then add your rice papers to it, you can do it like that. Because there's so many different Mod Podges that you can get, you can literally put it on everything. So there's even a Mod Podge that allows you to transfer it onto a cushion cover. It's a textile one. So you've got your cushion cover, you put your glue on it, you pop your, however much, if you want to put a full sheet on there, if you've just got elements that you want to cut out, you will take them out, you will glue them down. Once it's dried, you've got your rice papers on your cushion covers. You can put them on, if you've got plain lampshades and you want to decorate your lampshade up, you can do, she tore the paper. It's rice paper, it's okay. We're allowed to. So many really simple and easy things you can do with rice paper that makes it look absolutely beautiful. Which is one of the main reasons I wanted to bring some into my collections, because I wanted to introduce it. Some of you have never used it. And I want you to realise, actually, it's not as scary as we think. And it just looks beautiful. Like I said, if all you wanted to do was glue it to some of your card and then pop it onto the front of a box or a gift card, because it's got that beautiful texture to it. It just makes your cards stand out a little bit. So I'm going to glue all these sides exactly the same. I got a little bit carried away talking about my new papers, didn't I? No, I want to say goodbye to my grandson. And it looks like I missed all the new papers. Do you want me to quickly show you again? Shall I show you again, Maggie? I'll quickly show you again. That's all right. These are my two collections that are coming up, my circus ones. That's my red and gold collection. And then this is going to be the green and gold collection. And there's going to be lots of circus tents and steampunky vehicles. Those, I've just said the name, haven't I? Those air balloon thingamabobs. Very, very different. But then, so this is what you missed. Did you miss this as well? So this is my rice paper. This is going to be one of my autumnal collections that's coming up. So we've been having a play with the rice papers as well. So I don't think you missed too much. So popping that glue on there. Try and do those two sides at once to speed this up. I love that red and gold. Honest to God, I mean, I wish I could show you the whole collection, but it's not really ready yet. Again, you're going to be getting sneaky peeks in the runoff, things like that. It's just absolutely beautiful. Well, I think it is. Rice paper, again, rice paper, I love it. It's very underrated with the amount of things that you can do with it. And I think, again, it's all down to the glues that you can get. You can get so many different Mod Podges. You can get a gloss one, you can get a matte one, but then you can get one that makes things dishwasher safe. So, if you've got like trays or anything like that that you're going to pop into the dishwasher, you can use it with that. You've got ones that allow you to put stuff outside, so it proper seals it. There's the textile one, the fabric one. There's lots. Just want to make sure that that's all stuck, which it is. Right, so now we can bring these in. I'm just making sure that I've got the correct sides. Right, so is that folded? When we pop these together, we're going to shove them up like that, and this piece here is going to go on the inside. And the brilliant thing about using this is when I bring this over, I know if it's not perfectly lined up with this, then I've got my front piece a little bit wonky. So it's absolutely brilliant for that. So you're going to bring it over, we're going to fold it. But before I do, I just want to, there and there, push gently but firmly those in. So I've got my lovely clean fold there. And then I'm going to tuck that one in as well. Start tucking it in as I lift. And then again, I've got a lovely clean edge there. So let's bring this up and add my glue. So again, I'm going to rub that so it goes up to the edge and not over. I'm going to pop it right next to it, and I'm going to bring that over. And I'm going to hold that for a second because I know that I've got more wiggle room time with this because I'm using that halal all purpose. So I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to have a look and I'm going to make sure that it's nice and straight. And again, the bonus is that I've got enough time to wiggle this about until I'm quite happy with where it's at, which I am. So I'm going to bring that back over. It just wiggled a little, but then we're going to give it a nice, good burnish. And again, enough time to be going up. Right, happy with that. So I'm going to turn this round. I'm going to do the same again. I'm turning it round. I find it easier. I'm left-handed, so everything has to be done on this side. Sometimes upside down and back to front, but it works for me. So then, give that good. I mean, you don't have to rub it in, obviously, with your finger. If you've got a little glue spreader or something like that, then by all means use that. Just get rid of that glue. So again, I'm going to turn it over. I'm just going to fold it, let it fold down. Make sure that I'm happy that it's nice and straight. And then I can bring it back over, pop it down, and allow it to fully cure. So then what you've got now is the base of your album. So then all we need to do is we need to decorate the insides, and it's entirely up to you. So this is a lot longer than popping a 12 by 12 on it. So you've got all those boxes to go on. So you might not necessarily want to pop this behind and then put your boxes on top. You might just want to bring in your white card, and again, just very much like an album, we're going to bring that 12 by 12 one in, and it's going to come to just roughly under halfway of this one. So if I get another 12 by 12 and bring it in, you can see that I've got that strip there. But again, because you're going to have boxes going on the back and all this is white, it's entirely up to you if you add an extra strip into the middle. Let me just... Because as you can see, the boxes on this back bit and on these side bits, there's very, very little of the pattern behind that you can see. So again, pop some black card behind or paper, white paper, entirely up to you. But we do need to cover it because we need to cover these side bits. So I'm going to use these. We'll go with the white so we're not wasting any paper. So remember, we're 10-inch. Where's my trimmer? Right next to me. So 10 inches high. And remember, we're leaving it as long as we can. Stick that down. Entirely up to you how much of the outside piece that folds over that you want to have on view, on display. So I tend to normally go down just 1/4 of an inch. Trim this one down as well. I always start with that 1/4 of an inch, and then if I want a little bit more, then I can trim a little bit more off. So let's pop that way. Let me just Ben McCarthy. An amazing colour. Have I missed lots of messages? Oh yes, please. Let me have a look and bring this in. Right, where are we? Shocked she tore the paper. I did see that one, didn't I? I know. Oh why I thought the spider web weave were errors. Bags 2, never used rice paper before. Sounds exciting. It is. But you went to say goodbye to your grandson. No, they're an autumn collection. We are working on a Halloween collection. As soon as I can, I'll give you sneaky peeks. Definitely. I've got a Halloween collection, but it's a little bit different to normal Halloween collections. It's nice and different. Right, let's get glue all over this. You can tell the husband's in the room, can't you? Did you hear that? So I'm going to try and pop as much glue as I can on this, especially up to the edges, but especially here. So down those two sides there and here. Sorry if I missed it. Where do we order your papers from? Just from me, my lovely, just from me. So if you pop over to my Facebook page, you'll see the albums on there. So it's Michelle McCarthy Crafts. Or you can pop me a message down here below, and we can sort it out by email. But you just ordering through me for now, because we're just quite small. Just pop me a message and we'll sort it out, definitely. So plenty of glue on here up to the edges, but especially down the sides of these, because when this folds, you don't want your paper to bow out. So what you can either do is add extra glue down those sides, or you can add some red liner tape. Again, up to you. It's totally personal preference. But I'll pop that on there and I'm going to rub it in to make sure it goes right up to that edge. So then when I pop this on and I've let it dry and then I fold it up, it's not going to pop out or bunch off. So just getting even. So then let me just pull this across. And then again, we're going to give it a real good burnish. Especially down those two folds. There we go. So while that's drying, let's turn it round and try not to throw everything on the floor and then do this side. I'm glad that I caught your show. Oh, thank you, Tui. I'm glad that you caught it too. Buy time to get ready for the doctor. Well, Barbara, I hope it all goes well. I hope it's just a lovely routine checkup. Lovely? Is a doctor's routine checkup ever lovely? I think you know what I mean. So there we go. Again, making sure that we've got lots of glue. And then I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to pop glue down there. And then just make sure right up to the edge. And then bring this one in. And just measuring those two up so they're nice and even and equal. Suppose the benefit of all being white on white is that you're really not going to see any of those little bits here. So just, again, giving it all a nice burnish. I think I'm going to leave that. I think because, again, my boxers, it's all white. You're not going to see it. On this one, I did cover it up. Again, let me bring it in and open it up. For no other reason than I just covered the inside with the pattern paper rather than just went with the white. Let me just close that back off. I can tell you what, there's nothing that's more fun than opening and closing one of these locks. It is so much fun. So give those a second. You be nice to Ben, Michelle. I'm always nice to Ben. I'm making cups of tea when he's printing for me and everything. Knowing Michelle, it will be terrifying. No, it's beautiful. It's a little bit gothic. So you've got beautiful castles, but scary, gothic-y, beautiful castles. It's lovely. I think you'll like it. I really do. How much of that tomato soup are you wearing? Soup and a 4-year-old can be an adventure. I did miss something, didn't I? Sneaking in during work. Saw you alive, Michelle, and had to say hello. Eve, thank you for joining us. Even if you are sneaking in from work, we're not bothered at all. We're quite happy for that. I do done the same before. It has to be done, doesn't it? Starting with my hiccups again, because you can see I've been talking a lot. Right, I hope the Halloween collection will be scary. It is. It's not a. I don't know what to say because I don't want to say anything. It's not a CC one. I think a CC one's very lovely and nice and cute spiders and things like that. It's definitely not that. It's definitely more. It's beautiful and it's gothic, and you're all going to be complaining that you can't cut into it again. But it is beautiful. Gaz, I'll be sneaking in from. Are you on your way to work, Gaz? I am so happy for you and so excited for all your collections and projects. They are fabulous. Thank you so much, Angela. That's very, very lovely. Very juvenile. I think that you're aiming that at Gaz, I would like to say. Halloween edgy. Yeah, it's definitely. You're going to love it. Still cute, but I do prefer the scary, more grown-up version of Halloween papers. Yeah, definitely. I think it is a more adult one, not in the fact that kids can't have it. It's just, I think that's just what I do, isn't it? A little bit more adulty. Just a little bit different. I think everything seems to have that bit of either a vintage or a steampunk or a gothic-y edge to it, except for my Christmas collection that is coming up in a couple of months. So that will be one roughly about October, because you have to have another one just before Christmas, don't you? It would be rude not to. That one is just beautiful. That's the only word I can think of to say for that one. It is just beautiful. So all I'm doing now is I'm just using my bone folder to go and be pushing that paper in there. So when I bring it round, it's going to fold beautifully. So you're going to sort of teasing it into position. I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to do the same. We tend to do it while we're just lifting. It helps it all to go where it needs to go. Okay. So give them a good gentle sort of tease into place. And then once my lock's on, that is it. You've got that beautiful gatefold. I mean, this could be an album if you really wanted to, or you could attach a huge box here on the back and have it gatefold, but it just happens that it works absolutely perfectly with this collection. So then the only other thing really we're going to do is we're going to use the pattern paper. So this is going to go on the front. I'll pop this to the side and bring this in again. So remember, it's 10 inches high. So you need to decide on which part of this that you want to sort of get rid of. Top and bottom, or top or bottom. I tend to take, I think I took roughly an inch away from the top and the bottom. So I didn't cut too much into this element here, and I still had the moon. And I think you can get away with sort of an inch at the bottom as well. So let me just line that up. So an inch from there, and then just that little bit extra, I'm going to go, we'll turn it over. Going to go to 8 and, no, we're not, we're going to go to 9 and 7/8. What's 9 and 7/8? And then I'm going to bring this back in and have a look and see if I'm happy with the border. Just move that up a little bit at the top and the bottom, which I am really happy with that. So I'm happy with the height. So that was 9 and 7/8. And then now it's just to decide on that 9 inches this way. Obviously it's 12 inches. So I'm going to trim an inch away from that side, because I want Santa. I want as much of Santa on there as I can get on there. And then 9 inches wide. So we're going to go down to 8 and 7/8. And then that's what the front is going to look like. And all I need to do now is just to trim that in half. So just make sure I did. I worked that out really quickly in my head, and I thought I'd gone wrong. So each piece is going to be 4 and 3/8, because each side is 4.5. So I've just gone down that 1/8 of an inch. Pop that to the side. And I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to make sure that turn it that way. It's probably easier for me. I'm going to pop that on there. Right, again, blue. Just having a quick look, making sure I don't. Still cute, but I do prefer. I must admit, last year when CC brought out that more grown-up Halloween pad, I absolutely loved it. That was one of my favourites. Absolutely. It depends who you make Halloween cards for. If you make mainly Halloween cards for the kids and stuff, you are going to love the cute stuff. Absolutely. I just think there's a place for it all, isn't there? Definitely. But I think I just had to pause for a second then to make sure that that was nice and straight. But I think what you're going to be able to do with the Halloween collection is you're going to be able to use it for a lot more than just Halloween, um, because of the sort of style and the way that or my vision for it. But yeah, that more grown-uppy one, I purchased so many of those paper pads last year from CC. I really did. I just loved it. Some of the imagery on that, it was just worthy of popping into a frame. And if you decorate for Halloween, then they was brilliant for that. Let me just turn this over so I can give that a nice good furnish. I'll be leaving in a minute. I have to do the mundane stuff and then I'll be back. How long does it take you to get to work, Gaz? Does it take a long time or is it quite quick? I'm glad she flipped the paper. It's nice not seeing the actual paper being cut into. Yes. It's it gets as nerves, doesn't it, when you cut into paper like that? So when I bring those together, you've still got that beautiful image on the front. It looks. I love. I must admit, this particular one with the fire, I do love it because then you've still got the moon just peeking through there because of the way that I cut from both sides. So yeah, you've just got that little moon peeking through. You've got those lovely stuffed toys and things on the shelf, so you're still getting lots of that beautiful image. 15 minutes to work, then I have to do work things, take about half an hour. Imagine having to do work things at work, Gaz. So then the only other thing that I really did on this is I've just decorated it all the way round. This is again entirely up to you. On the back, let me bring it in. I used this one. So this one is from it's from the Globe collection. So this is the Christmas past. This is the Christmas future, the Nutcracker one. Again, I obviously I can mix it all up because I've got lots of them here. But these two side pieces, they are. So this is the 3 3/4 wide, isn't it? So this was cut to that 9 7/8. And then again, just off the side, I cut that 1/8 of an inch, entirely up to you. But it was perfect because it's such a narrow piece. It was some offcuts from a different project that I'd used. So you can just, again, use the offcuts if you absolutely want. And then, keep forgetting I have to stand it up to open it up or my lids will pop off. I am loving this demo. So clear. Thank you for explaining so well. Absolutely. But again, if there's something that I missed, let me know and I'm happy to go over it again. How could you turn this into an album? So the way that you could turn this into an album is a couple of different ways. Because I've got these two side pieces here, you could have your pages that long. So this would be a spine and you could have small pages on that side and you could have small pages on that side. So there could be 5.5 inch wide. Or what you could do is you could build it up from the back. So let me turn this over. So from the back, what you could do is you could alternate your pages. So have not a spine per se, but have it building up from the back. So let me see if I can just find some scrap paper to show you exactly what I mean. So that's the scrap piece. So let me just trim this. It's not going to be the correct side. Let me just trim it down to show you what I mean. So I've got just 4 pieces of card here. And some lovely fingerprints on them. So what you could do is, imagine these are the same size as this. You can have that back one on there, but then what you would do with these pieces, imagine that I've done this with a nice lovely straight edge. So you've got that little 1/2 inch tab. So you can pop that 1/2 inch tab on there and it's going to fold that way. And then you're going to do the same. You're going to pop another 1/2 inch, it's 1/4 of an inch, I would say, or yeah, 1/4 of an inch. And then that one's going to go, that one's going to open that way. And that one will open that way. Okay. So folds over, folds over. But what you've got to imagine is as it gets higher, so you're going to have to make your sides a little bit bigger if you tuck them all the way under the base piece. So tuck it under the base piece. This is very rough. So you've got 1/4 of an inch and then you've got a 1/2 inch side. Can you see? You can see that. So then that one's going to go underneath the base piece. It's going to allow for all those pieces underneath because you've got a wider side. But you really don't even need to do that. What you could do is just keep building it up on each piece. So you could have, it would open that way. You could have that open that way, and then that one would open that way. Or another option is to have one of these pieces glued on here like that. It will fold over. Again, imagining it's the full size. Then this one's going to be on that side. Then this next one's going to go over. And you're going to have an album that opens like that. Does that make sense? So that will flip open. That will flip open, that will, so on and so forth. And you can build it up and you can have quite a lot on the back if you want. You could just put a 3-inch box on the bottom that's not any deeper than this. And you could make a separate album and put it in. And this could be your storage box. I've got like 3,000 more different ideas to make this into an album. But that's just a few there. So I hope that made sense to you. I'm going to go play with my box, my goodie box from Michelle. Have fun, Caroline. I can see Michelle, thank you for showing me. So again, if you've got like lots of just scrap paper at home and stuff like that, if you're not sure how it would go, just have a play with your scrap paper because it helps seeing the visual of how it would work. And then if you think, actually, I like that, then you can go ahead with your nice card and do that. So on the inside, I did exactly the same as I sort of did on the front. So this, I cut sections. Again, this piece here and this piece here, you're going to be able to fully see. So it depends absolutely on you, which you would like to have here. On this 2 end pieces and this middle piece, you don't have to put pattern paper at all because you've got to remember those boxes are going to cover it all up. So these 2 pieces, if you remember, it's 3 3/4 wide, and I just went down that 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. It's entirely up to you. And again, the 10 inches high, go down that 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. It depends. It's entirely up to you. But these are the two panels that you would definitely going to pop some pattern paper on, and then your boxes. So my box sizes are, I wrote it out nice and neat. My box size, you can read it for a change, can't you? Look at that. So my little box sizes, what you're going to need is you're going to need 24 pieces of card at 6 by 5 inches. And you're going to score all 4 sides at 1.5 inch. And then you're going to need 24 pieces of card at 5 by 4. And then you're going to score those on all 4 sides at 1 inch on your base and lid side of your scoreboard. And then it gives you the 1 inch high lid and the 1.5 inch high box. And those are the pieces of mount board size wise. So if anyone wants to screenshot now is your time. So it's just, can you see how simple it is to come together? You don't want to see me making 24 boxes at the minute and putting those together. I mean, I could talk you through 24 boxes, absolutely. So let me just pop that back in. And then again, the only other thing is your lock on the front. Entirely up to you if you want to use a lock in the middle, one at the top. If you've got smaller ones, you can pop one at the top and the bottom. I use this lovely one that I had in my stash. It's a nice large one. So it comes with, I think some of these locks you tend to find come with screws rather than brads, because I think they're jewellery box locks. So obviously, more often than not, you're going to be popping them onto wood. But I've got lots of, I think we all have, don't we? We've got so many brads in our stash from one place or another. So the holes are the same. You just pop your brads through rather than using those little screws on them. And it just comes together lovely. The only other thing I did, I just popped a strip of glitter card just across the top. And I'll tell you why I did that. I did that because I cut this piece of pattern paper a tiny little bit shorter than my sides. So you could see that this was shorter than that. So I went in and I just cut a strip of glitter card, popped it across the top, and it's hid that this was just a little bit shorter. So there's always a way, isn't there? Always a way. Clarice, you're off to work? Oh, have a lovely day. Right, so I'm going to pop that to the side so you can see how easy that literally comes together. And then I did say, let me pop that there, I would show you the crackers, didn't I? So let me find the box. Oh. So I've got mine in a lovely gift box. Just made it big enough to fit 2 crackers because I've used a 12 by 12, so they're quite big. So for this box, because these are so big, I had to use an A3 sheet of card. So let's have a look. What size did I use? I'm organised, but I'm not that organised. I've got the sizes of my crackers wrote down, but not the box. So the box base, literally, all I tend to do is I will pop them together on my glass mat and I will decide how big I want my box. Because they're crackers, you can squash them a little bit more, and then when they come out of your box, obviously they pop out to the correct size. So I decided on that height. So that height is 9 1/4. So it's 9 1/4 this way, and we have 5 1/4 this way, and then the depth is 3 inches. So you've got 9 1/4, 5 1/4 by 3 inches deep, and then with the lid, you can see that I've done it 1 inch shorter. So it's the 9 did I say 9 1/4? Yeah, 9 3/4. That way, the 5 3/4 that way, and then the lid itself is 2 inches. Now, I didn't have a die big enough to cut that window out. Sorry, I have been watching but unable to comment. Oh, my boxes arrived today and they are more amazing than on TV. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. What was the other one? Right. That's me away as well. I'll be back as quickly as I can. All right. Thank you, guys. Hurry up. Colleen, I've been watching you and learning while I have my grandkids here again today. We'll watch back later and do step by step to do this later when I get my kit. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see how easy and simple it is to go together. It really is. Right, so what I was saying is I didn't have a die big enough to cut this window out. So all I did was when I put my score lines in, where's my ruler? You can measure it however you want, but I tend to use these, the grids on my ruler. So I used, very technical, I went up to the third line on my ruler and I just drew a pencil line all the way round, and then I used my craft knife to cut it out very carefully. Now, I always find that when you use your craft knife to cut an aperture out, it can, I don't know if it's just me, the edge isn't so neat and tidy. So what I always tend to do then is I'll just bring my scoreboard in and I'll place it on my scoreboard and I will just score into one of the grooves just all the way round. And what it does, it just finishes it off because you've got that now. Can you see if I lift it up? You can see it, can't you? So I'll just put that score line all the way round and it just finishes my edge off nicely. So that is the box, but for these, let me bring in my scoreboard and then my piece of, let's use a different piece, just a sec. Let's use, I can't grab it. There we go. So we'll use these ones just because I want to use a different piece. So you're gonna cut this way down to 11.5. So all you need to do is cut a 1/2 inch off, and then you're going to leave that way exactly as it is. So now what we've got is we've got 11.5 inches by 12 inches. And then we're going to turn it over. And again, I'll bring, you can have your sides as big or as small as you want. I wanted to use as much as the 12 by 12 as I possibly could. So each of my sides is going to be 2 3/4. So on the short side, you're going to score at 2 3/4. And then you're going to score at 5.5. And then the next one is 8 1/4. And then your last one is 11. Because then what that leaves is just that 1/2 inch tab. That went out of that score line 3 times. There we go. Did I get it? I did. I got it in the end. And then we're going to turn it round. And again, this is entirely up to you. How wide you want that middle bit and how wide you want those end bits. So I decided, as you can see, I think these are 1.5 inch. They are. So I went for 1.5 inch, but you can go for 2.5 inch and have a really wide base piece if you want. Just have a little bit of a play about. So I went to 1.5 inches. So we're going to score 1.5. And then for those 2 pieces there, they're just 1 inch. So 1.5, then 2.5, and then 3.5. So let me find my 2.5 and 3.5. And then you're going to flip it all the way around. And you're going to do exactly the same. 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. Okay. Now, I know you can't really see those scar lines. You can probably see them a little better there. So just the 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So that is it. So then the only thing that you need to do now is we need to fold and burnish all of these. And then we will make the little marks, little pencil notches for the corners to allow it to squish. And it's very technically said, squish. Let me find the correct one. There we go. So that is my half tab. I'm going to fold them back now. And then these bottom and top ones, you've got those 3 score lines that we need to just fold and burnish. And they need to be nice, make sure that they are nice and correct and neat, because we're going to measure these cut out bits and they need to be sort of the same, uniform, the word I'm looking for. Right. So what you've got is you've got 1 score line, 2 score line, and 3 score lines. That second score line here, so can you see how it sort of folds like that? You've got 1, 2, and 3. This is where we're sort of going to cut those diamond shapes out. So I'm going to bring in my pencil and I'm going to pencil in lines so you can see a lot better what I'm doing. And then just makes it a lot easier. It's not hard, it's not difficult, but obviously on that paper you can't really see what I'm doing. So this is my tab edge and then my 4 sides. Right, so that's what you've got. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some diamonds out, and it's as simple as that. So again, you can make these a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. So I'm going to bring in my pencil, and so on that middle one, I'm going to measure each side 1/2 inch. Bear with me. I am. Let me cut it and show you. And then when I carry on, you know exactly what I'm doing. Because I'm not sure if I did 1/2 inch or 1 inch on those ones. I think I did 1/2 inch. So let me just see how it looks. I did 1/2 inch. Can you see it? I just wanted to make sure. Right, so 1/2 inch each side. There, and then one there, right on the end, and then here. So what's going to happen in this middle bit is we're just going to trim, because it's my tab, and I only need a tab on the middle bit and the 2 end bits. So trim this away. So that's just my tab. Trim that away, and we want a 1/2 inch. So we're going to fold that in half now. So that's your first score line, your second and your third. And from those little notches or those little pencil marks, you're going to trim it out. Oops. There we go. And then final one. So what you can see I've done is from the first score line, we've put the pencil marks on the second one and then you cut. So if you fold that right in half, all you need to do is cut a triangle out rather than trying to cut, maybe with a craft knife, that shape out. So if I fold these this way and then fold this round for you. I know we haven't done that other side yet. So fold that all the way around. Fold that right. There we go. So your middle score line folds in. Fold it all the way round. And can you see you have now got your squishy bit. Now, with that 1/2 inch, it only squishes down so much. Do you see? If I make these bigger, it's going to squish down more. So I'll do the other side bigger and then you can compare the two and see how much squishiness you want. So I'm going to find that middle line again. So I'll pop a pencil line across there. And then what we're going to do is we'll do it at 1 inch. Wait a minute, let's do it at 3/4 of an inch. So from each side of that line, we're going to put a little pencil mark on the middle score line at 3/4 of an inch. We're going to do it there as well. And 3/4, 3/4. And then, so from the tab bit, we need to go 3/4. Let's go. So then now what we're going to do is we're going to fold that over and we're going to cut those corners away again. So these are a little bigger, which means you'll get more squish because you're just removing more to allow it to just close down a little bit more. I can't think of another word better than squish. And then on that one, to that tab, and then let's trim that tab away. Okay. So you can see they're a lot bigger, which means it's just going to close better. So now all we're going to do is these tabs, I'm going to pop some glue on them. So I'm going to fold that there and we're going to pop glue on all 3 of those. I think I've glued it shut or it's dried shut. There you go. So a little bit of glue there, just up that tab and on that one there. And then bring that over. And then fold it back that way. Oh, my tab popped out. And that one. There we go. And then what you've got is you've got your Christmas cracker. I can't think of what it was called. So let me just hold that just for a second longer because it's Kalal and it's wanting to pop open. I tried to explain this method to Craig on the template library. Makes it so much easier, but it's just, yeah, I know. I tried to explain it to someone a little while ago, and they just wanted to cut the diamond out. Which, you know, if you want to cut the diamond out, then do it. But this way makes it so much easier. So pushing those together, can you see? Oh, pushed it in. How much more? In fact, you can pop it in. Look at that. I like that. So with the inch, well, it wasn't. It was 3/4 of an inch on each side, wasn't it? You get more, or you can close it more. On that one, you've got less because you've got less give because you haven't cut away as much. You've got less give, which again, it depends what you put in it. But if I pop it that way and push it down as much as I can, you can see that you've got quite a wide square still. If I bring that side round and push it down, can you see how much smaller that square is? And I think, if I'm correct, and I am, I did these an inch each side. So I'm going to open this back up because I don't think it's quite gone off yet anyway. So I can pop that back open. This one, I did at 1/2 inch each side of each score line. This one, I did at 3/4 of an inch at each side of the score line. So you can see if I bring in my ruler, and so 3/4 of an inch from that line and 3/4 of an inch there. If I make that a little bit wider, if I make that an inch from my line that side and an inch that side, what you get is a lot. In fact, you can see it squashes perfectly shut, and squashes down perfectly. So entirely up to you. Have a play with how much you want to cut away, because then that just so that's not going to glue back, is it? Just allows you to, for one, create a template from it, definitely, and then you never forget. But it's just a personal preference, isn't it? How much you want that to squash down or not. To squash or not to squash, that is the question. So I'm going to pop that to the side because I did say I'd do it with a 6x6, just so you could see the difference. So again, it's going to be exactly the same. In fact, I've wrote it down. 6 by 5.5 for the smaller one. The top one, the bigger one, was 12 by 11.5. You scored on the short side, you scored on the long side, and it's the same with this one. So this is what we're going to do. Quickly bring in my trimmer. And we're going to trim just that 1/2 inch off. So again, we've got 6 by 5.5. Just making sure I've not missed anything. You tried to explain that method to correct. It's so much easier, isn't it? So much easier. Love these crackers. You made it look so easy to make. Think I might need to order more papers if possible. Absolutely. You pop me a message and let me know what you want, definitely. To squash or not to squash? That is the question. I think if I explained something with correct terminology, now there's a word for you, you'd all be very shocked. Right, so on the short side, at the 5.5, we're going to score at 1.25. I'm going to score at 2.5, 3 3/4, and then 5. So again, each side is just that 1.25. We're going to flip it round. So on the long side, we are going to score at 1 inch. 1.5 and 2. So you're going to flip it all the way around and do exactly the same, sorry. 1, 1.5 and 2. Pop this out of the way. And again, I'm going to turn it over. We're going to just pop all those score lines in first. Give them a good score and burnish before you cut those triangles out. It just makes it a lot easier. And then my little tab. And then sort of those 3 at one side and those 3 at the other. And again, we're going to fold that middle one, and that's where we're going to cut from. So let me find my ruler and I'll pop. Let me just, so you can sort of see where I'm going. Let's go for 1/2 inch. And I think that makes quite wide diamonds. But unless you're cutting so far across that you've got nothing in the middle, then I think it doesn't matter. Just have a bit of a play. So 3/4 inch. Because remember, I think sometimes when you have a bit of a play about like this, and you have a sort of a good play about with different sizings, it just makes it stick in that little bit more, because it's all well and good following someone's instructions, but then when you get to have that little bit of a play, you think, oh gosh, yes, that makes sense. That's how it works, or that's how it happens. So let's fold that, and look, that one's going to fold lovely. So you can see if I put it down, you've got those lovely diamonds, and that's my tab. So we'll do exactly the same on this side. So what were we? 3/4 inch, weren't we? Did we? No, wasn't. I've literally just done it, haven't it? And I can't. 1/2 inch. So let me just quickly pop a little pencil line there so you can see a little bit clearer. 1/2 inch on both sides of that line. As I'm moving this ruler across, I'm leaning with it for some strange reason. Right, there we go. So remembering on that side, we cut up to that first score line and then we trim it away because that's our tab. And the only place that we need the tab is the bottom bit, the middle bit, and that top bit. A little bit of strike it lucky there. Does anyone remember that with Michael Barrymore? Strike it lucky, top, middle, or bottom? I used to love Strike It Lucky. Saturday nights, Strike It Lucky. Hilarious Michael Barrymore. And then, there we go. So then you've got the same at the top and the bottom. Let me use, oh, no, I won't. I'm going to use a tape pen, but it's buried underneath something right next to me. And I don't want to move that pile of stuff because it's going to fall everywhere. So again, just a little bit of glue on those 3 tabs. And let's bring that all the way over. And I'll just give that a bit of a burnish while and make sure I've not missed anything, which I haven't. So just making sure that it folds nice both ways. Now I've cut mine just the tiniest little bit wonky there. Once they're up, it's not going to make a difference. But when you fold them together, I mean, you can see that bottom one's nearly perfect. Again, I've been rushing, but if you just want to make sure that that's exactly the same, just trim it. And then when you fold it again the other way, it's going to be absolutely perfect. And then again, so you've got that lovely, just stick that down just a second longer. So you've got your lovely Christmas crackers, and then you're going to be popping your ribbon. Go to the ribbon here. Just that. The only thing with these is finding the end, isn't it? There we go. So let's just pop a little bit of twine around it. If you've got some little elastics, you could pop those around them, especially if you want to be sort of getting in and out of these. So there we go. Let me cut a little bit more for this time. And these 6, so these small ones, if you wanted to do 6 in a little box, you wouldn't need to go for your A3 card, because obviously they're a lot smaller. I would imagine 12 by 12 would work beautifully. But so that's your little 6 by 6 one. These are your 12 by 12 ones. You're cutting a 1/2 inch away at each side, and being able to create some fabulous little or big crackers. So again, those are the sizings I use. The only thing I haven't popped on there is the sizings of the diamonds that we cut out, because I wanted to have a bit of a play with the sizes and show you what a difference it makes by how much that you cut away in that corner. But they're so simple. I think once you've seen it once, and then you realise how easy it is to put together, then you're going to have a lot of fun. They throw together literally in no time. In fact, what would look lovely is I've got some lovely what are they called? Dragon's teeth. The little the ones that cut your there's a name. I think they were originally for if you're a seamstress, aren't they, for frayed edges and stuff, but I use them for my crafting. So if you've got some of those lovely scissors and you want to create a lovely torn edge effect, or pink in shears, thank you very much. Pinky, thank you. Yeah, so if you want to cut your ends with those, in fact, I've got some little rulers here as well. Again, I think I got these off Amazon. They've got obviously lots of different edges. This one tears perfectly. Some don't tear so great. So this big one is really rubbish. You can't tear with it, but you can emboss with it. But then the other side tears lovely. And this one as well. That side tears absolutely lovely. You can see it better now, can't you? So if you just want to give your bottoms, or if you've got the dies, the edgeable dies, and you want to give your tops and bottoms, a lovely decorative edge, be bringing those in as well. You don't have to keep them sort of straight. Your papers, your ribbons, if you want to put borders around with peel-offs or stickers or anything, you can really go to town with them, definitely. So I think I'm done. I mean, I know I didn't finish decorating this up. I think the main thing is you saw exactly how it pops together, how easy it is. 24 boxes later, what you've got is this one. And then just whatever paper it is you wanted to use. Let me open this up. I'll move some stuff so you can see what I'm doing. And then if I lay it down for you, you've got that lovely, it's just a wow piece, isn't it? And again, I've done my boxes longer because I think we all tend to do a 2x2 or a 3x3. So I thought it'd be nice to do a 2x3 just for a change. Will you put measurements on Facebook? Yes. For this or for the crackers, but yeah, I can put them both on there because what I will do with the crackers is I'll get my 12x12, I'll score it all up and I'll put all the pencil marks in there so you can see exactly where to score and to cut, and then it's going to make it a lot easier for you to just sort of glance at the picture, have a look at the sizes and know exactly what you're doing. But once you've done one, you'll be doing them in your sleep because they're very, very easy. I've got those rulers too. Love the crackers. Anything. I mean, and they were really cheap as well. Those 6 rulers were about £6 or £7, and you can emboss with them as well. So win-win, I think. Where did you get your lock in your stash? You said. Oh, so the lock on the front, I got it from Amazon, and I've had them for a really long time. Someone else asked me this the other day. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on eBay. You can get them on Shein, I think. Did I see them on Shein? Which is really weird because I didn't know that they did crafty bits, but apparently they do. And Temu. And I know lots of people don't like buying from Temu. I have a love-hate relationship. So things like this for locks and for jewellery box corners, little embellishments, like flowers and things, I have bought from Temu. I don't like the fact that you can go on there and see paper pads or dies from the companies that we know and love. But again, I'm not judging anyone because you do you buy from where you do. And Temu's one of those places that once you start looking on it, you get a little bit lost because they've got so much fabulous stuff on there. So you can get so many different locks on Temu. It is unbelievable. Who was it who was messaging me? Angela, I think. She asked me, and I said I'd got mine from Amazon. She had a look, and I think she found some on eBay. So then I had another look. I just had a Google search, and there was loads came up from Temu as well. And again, it is like an Aladdin's cave. It really is. Are they red and green? Hard to tell a little on my screen. So do you mean the numbers? They are. So the numbers I did get from Amazon. So let me take a couple of the lids off. So again, this is a pattern paper, but this one's red, and I've just gone around the edges with some gold gilding wax, and that one's a green. And I used a couple of my Tim Holtz. So let me just grab them out because I used the bandar for the red, and for the green, I used the pine needles. Now, all I did, I just inked them up. I just had my little dauber and I just inked them up. And they inked up absolutely beautifully. But what you can also do is obviously ink them up, put your clear embossing powder over the top and heat set them, and then you've got some beautiful little glossy baubles as well. Because the chipboard, the little chippies take it beautifully, the heat embossing. That will be great, Michelle, putting on the sizes, so I'll need all the help I can get. Well, you always know that if you've got any questions, you can always pop me a message. I'm more than happy to, if I can, help. I will, definitely. So that's all. But yes, so I was saying that there's so many different locks. If you just search for jewellery box locks or jewellery box corner protectors, things like that, that's normally when you find lots of different places that do them. Did you stick your boxes on in a particular order? No, I didn't. Well, what I tend to do is I stick all my boxes down And then it's entirely up to you. So from here, can you see, is one sheet of 12 by 12 that I used, and I cut each section is so each box is 2 by 3 inches, and I just cut a slither from the top. So you're talking 2 7/8 by 1 7/8, and you can get all those boxes out of a sheet of 12 by 12. And then what I did for these 3 down each side is I just used a really contrasting paper. It's harder for you to see because it's quite busy and I've got my numbers on, but these 3 on each side are a separate piece of paper, and then the rest is, if you sort of look, you can see it's a pattern from that one sheet of paper that follows on. So I'm just reading your messages. It's like an Aladdin's. Yes, it is, unfortunately. Everything turned out beautiful. Nice, didn't think about gilding wax. Yeah, it's just because there's a lot of gold running through it, and I just thought it's almost like the glow from the fires are hitting all the baubles. That's how it works in my head. But no, boxes in a particular order. No, I didn't. But yes, I did. But the thing is, I suppose you can mix them all up if you want. I like mine in number order, but you could absolutely, even the pattern, if you wanted to swap all the boxes round and make them quite random, then what the kids have got then is a bit of a jigsaw to put all the box lids back in order to follow the pattern. So you could absolutely do that as well. What type of clothes would you use for younger children? Not ribbons. Younger children. So, I don't think that's particularly tricky, but I do have some locks here. For younger children to open or for younger children to create with. Let me see, where I do have a big tub of metal embellishments. Here we are. See if I can get them down without tipping everything up. So I've got a little tub of the thoughts of it. These are just locks that I've had some little random boxes about the house in, and I've taken them off. I've taken the hinges off. I've taken the locks off as well. But I've got this one. Let me bring in a bit of paper. So this particular lock here is really easy for the little kids to open and close because so one will go on one side and one goes on the other, and then all that does is it just lifts up and down. So that's a real easy one for them to open and close because it just lifts up and down. Let me pop it down so you can see. So it's just like a little lever arm. So that's a nice, easy one. Again, I got these off of Amazon. And it is a lot smaller, this particular one. So again, it doesn't really matter. As long as it closes it's entirely, it really doesn't matter. So you could pop one at the top and one at the bottom. Or you could just pop that smaller one on in the middle, because it will close it absolutely perfectly. Will you be adding the measurements? Yes, I will. Thank you, Michelle. What a great day to spend with you and learning some new projects. My granddaughter Riley and gonna say hello and loved watching you also today with me. Say hello to them. Say hello to them and tell them thank you for putting up with my ramblings. You could always make some kind of Velcro enclosure. Absolutely. You could just have a cardboard wrap all the way round, so like a belly band, but you could have it tucking through like a little belt buckle. It doesn't have to be exceptionally strong because it's just an advent calendar. So you could have one that tucked through like Santa's belt buckle and they could just pull it out to open it. So many different ideas, definitely. Right, so I think I'm done. If anyone's got any more questions, if I don't get to them or you asked a question and I missed it, apologies. But yeah, pop me a message if I did miss anything. Angela Forecrafts, thank you very much. Brilliant demo. Could always make some kind of Velcro hook. Yes, yeah, of course you could. Well, that's what you could do with if you sort of created a little bit of a Santa belt going round, you could have it just close here on this side with the Velcro and it just open up. Or you can have a bit of elastic if you've got some. Oh, I've got. See, I'm trying to. I really need to tidy up. If you've got some lovely, I've got some elastic in all sorts of different colours, and you can just tie that round and it would hold it closed, and then you can just slip it on and off to open it and close it. I do love the big one, but it wouldn't be long before the bolt was lost. Well, it stays on. So when you open this up, it's attached. It's attached, so they can't lose it. That opens, and then obviously open and close. So this, they couldn't pull it off. It's not going anywhere. Let me just. It's physically attached to there. So, yeah, with little kids and things like that, that would be the worry. Which is why I love this lock, because it's not going anywhere. What's the? How have you put the lock on? Glue? No. So just with brads, so you can see 1, 2, 3. There's 3 holes in it, and it does come with screws. But again, I think I said earlier, we've all got lots of brads knocking about in our stash somewhere. Because I think what they are intended for is a jewellery box. So, creating a wooden gift or something. So it comes with tiny little screws, but they're too deep for the mount board. So all I did was I popped that on there, and with my pencil, I just marked through those 3 holes a little pencil mark, and then I use my poker tool. So I just get my poker tool and I pop the hole through, and I just pop it on with brads. You absolutely, if you want to attach it with hot glue, you can do. If you want to put hot glue and the brads in, make it a little bit more secure, you absolutely can do. But those 3 brads, they're not going anywhere, because what it's the mount board and the brads. It's uber strong. So yeah, just there's 3 brads on that side. If I lift that over, there's 1, 2, 3 on that side as well. So it's like uber strong, really well. Okay, thanks. That makes sense. Fabulous. Right. I think I'm going to go get some tea. If I have missed any questions or anything like that, let me know. I will pop the measurements for both of them on my Facebook page. The lovely lady who asked me earlier how to order, I'd pop me a message below here. After the show or on my Facebook page. All my socials are the same. So I'm Michelle McCarthy Crafts across everything. I'd like to say it makes it simple for you, but it just makes it simple for me. So I know where I am and what I'm doing. Oh, Laura, hello, completely forgot to come here. I'll be watching this back. That's all right. I was late to my own live anyway, so there was like about 10 people here before I got here. So, but while you're here and while I've got you, I'm just going to show you a little peek of some of my new papers that I've got coming soon. Bear with me. So I've got a circus collection coming out soon. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneaky peek. They need a little bit of tweaking. Ben says, apparently. I think they look fabulous, but so you've got my circus collection. So you've got the green and gold. This is just one of the sheets. There's lots of circus tents and steampunk vehicles and hot air balloons and circusy stuff, but with a little bit of a twist. And then this is the red and gold collection. So again, you can see it's a bit steampunky, a little bit different. So these are going to come in a 12 by 12 and a 6 by 6. And fingers crossed, not an 8 by 8 per se. What I've got, and I thought it'd just be a little bit different, is I've got A4 sheets. And what you're going to get on the top is you're going to get an 8 by 8. And then on the bottom, you're going to get a couple of little toppers. So I thought that would be just, again, something a little bit different, because we all like to work with different sizes. We all have a bit of a preference, really, don't we? So that's exciting. So I'm very excited about that. And then I'm also very excited about, so this is a collection that's coming up September-ish, I'm not quite sure, but I've got some rice paper. So I've got some rice papers coming as well, tutorials on them as well, you know, if you're not sure on how to play with them, but yes, so lots of exciting stuff. I am working, so someone did ask about papers with toppers. Yeah, definitely. Do I already have paper collections out already? I do. So my 2 Christmas collections that I've sort of been working with today, they're out. And I have a Victorian Summer's Garden collection. If you pop over to my Facebook page, Michelle McCarthy Crafts, you can see the albums with all the separate pages in there. So you can have a good old nosy at those 3. And then obviously I've got lots more coming up. I am working on some of you asked about an Egyptian theme, so I'm working on that. I've got lots of stuff going on, lots of exciting papers coming up and coming out. I'm trying to make sure that I cover things like Halloween, Christmas, you know, all the important things, but I'm also throwing just lots of fabulous collections in there as well. I think I've only said goodbye twice, so we're on number 3, and I do at least 10. So, but yes, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited about the workshops that I'm hopefully doing. I know some of you wouldn't be able to come. I mean, you know, the USA is not that far. I'm pretty sure you could just pop quickly on a plane and come and visit. But yes, I've got some stuff that I can't tell you yet, which is very exciting. But I am live again tomorrow night, and I'm live again tomorrow night for Ciao Bella. So on Ciao Bella's YouTube page, I'm going to be creating a lovely sort of flip album. So one of the lovely designers on Ciao Bella, she has created this flip album. And a few of you have asked if I could recreate it as a Michelle tutorial, because there's not, her video is just the video. There's no instruction, there's no chatting, there's no sort of going through it. So I'm going to recreate her beautiful album that lots of people have asked about. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow night. But she's done it with under the Chinese Japanese collection that we just had out. She made it with that, and I'm going to be doing it with their Nutcracker collection, which is absolutely gorgeous. So that will be tomorrow night. YouTube, Ciao Bella's YouTube, at 6:00. So that's going to be a fabulous project as well, to be creating for Christmas. Very different, obviously, to my Nutcracker collection, but absolutely gorgeous. So that's me tomorrow night. So hopefully some of you will be able to join me tomorrow night as well. So I say goodbye about 10 times, because there's always something else that I remember I want to tell you before I disappear. In fact, if I can stay there, don't move. I think, bear with me. Where did I put it? Oh, it's there, look. So, this is all my Ciao Bella stuff that came today. Have you seen my new collections yet? Michelle, do you already have paper? Yes, read that one, didn't I? They have got 3 new collections coming out. Rice papers, stamps, stencils, deluxe papers. What I want to show you. Look at their deluxe papers. So this is their Nutcracker collection I'm going to be creating with tomorrow night. This is their Paris Je t'aime collection. I won't be using that tomorrow night, but obviously that will be coming soon. And then they have this Elegance of Blue collection. So those are the 3 collections that they've got out at the minute. These are new releases. This is the one that I'm going to be playing with tomorrow night. They're just absolutely stunning. Let me quickly look at their deluxe papers. I mean, so that's like a silver leaf that one is on. And that's the same. Look at that. This is the Nutcracker collection. That is their gold sheets. That is their deluxe paper. That is the deepest of deep greens. They're just they all came yesterday, and I wasn't feeling very well, so they all came, and I didn't really get a chance to have a real good look through everything. So hence everything's still being, but they're just absolutely gorgeous. So Nutcracker, a lovely flip album. Tomorrow night is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try and post some little unopenings, some openings, some unboxings, some flip throughs, whatever they're called. But we will be doing that absolutely because there's just their vellums. Look at that. Literally, you see the pile of stuff. You can see how much fun I'm going to be having, definitely. So yes, I will definitely let you go this time. There's just so much goodness here, isn't there? There really is. Right, so I'll let you all get off, go get your teas or get back to work or whatever it is that you were doing. And I will pop the details on my Facebook page about my live tomorrow night over on Ciao Bella's page. And hopefully I will see you all then. So let me see if I can. There we go. You wouldn't think it'd be so hard, would you? Can hear the excitement in your voice. I love paper. I just love paper. That is my downfall. I mean, I love stamps and dies and everything like that, but a paper pad is, it gets me very excited. So on that note, I'm going to go tidy this mess up maybe tonight, maybe in the morning. But again, thank you all so much for joining me. I love the Paris papers. Sorry, I'm reading messages. I love the Paris papers. Yeah, they're stunning. Absolutely, the blue one, yeah, is absolutely gorgeous. I love the fact that they've got everything. They've got the rich golds and the reds, but then you go to the blues. You've got the blues there, which are absolutely stunning. So you've got a little bit of sort of everything covered with their Christmas collections this time. So yes, final time, I will let you go. Thank you all so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow night. Thank you. Bye-bye.